Hey guys, it's Chris at Highland Guitars. You're watching another one of my YouTube guitar building videos. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I hope that by the end of this video, I'll have earned the honor and privilege of your subscription. And you might even consider joining the channel. What I'm going to talk about in today's video is cutting fret wire. And as the title of this video would indicate, you might be cutting your fret wire wrong. But as I think you'll see in this video, that isn't necessarily the case. The reason I'm making this video is because last week I posted a video where I was installing the frets in my 3D printed guitar neck. And in the comments, a viewer mentioned that I was using my fret cutting tool incorrectly. Because when I cut my fret wire, I'll place the fret wire on the fretboard right where it's going to be installed. And then I place my fret cutter right up against the edge of the fretboard and I cut the wire. But as you can see, I'm cutting from side to side. Now the viewer said, no, that's incorrect. You're supposed to be cutting from top and bottom. So that would be something like this, where I would be cutting top to bottom, or top and bottom, from the top and bottom, not from the side to side motion. Well, when I read that comment, I thought, is that really true? And I kind of laughed. I thought, is this one of those situations where somebody is trying to show they're smarter than they really are, or trying to impress everybody with their skill and intelligence? That happens all the time on YouTube and on social media. People are always trying to show how smart they are. But I got to thinking, maybe he's right, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I have been doing it incorrectly for the past 20, 25 years. So I decided to do some tests and then do a little bit of internet research to find the truth. And in my tests, what I did was I cut a fret wire from the sides and then from the top and the bottom. And after several test cuts, I realized it didn't matter. The results when you're cutting from side to side are the same as when you're cutting from top to bottom. These type of cutters leave a sharp edge, either a vertical or horizontal sharp edge. It's vertical if you're cutting from side to side, and it's horizontal if you're cutting from top to bottom. But it's a sharp pointed edge, and you have to grind that off as you prepare to dress the frets. And you usually use a special type of file to remove that sharp edge and to get a nice bevel on the frets. But it doesn't matter what the orientation of the tool is, whether it's top to bottom or side to side, you get the same sharp edge that has to be removed. Hey guys, if you're really enjoying this video, it would be awesome if you would click that thumbs up button down below. And if you're new to the channel, click the subscribe button while you're at it. Both are free to do. They don't cost you anything, and it's a great way to show my channel support. But if you really want to get the most out of this channel, I would suggest you click the join button down below, because as a member, you're going to have access to exclusive content that contains a lot more information and detail than the rest of my videos on this channel. Also, you're going to have access to my Q&A live streams. Now let's get back to the video. The one difference I did notice that I thought was interesting is that when you're cutting from top to bottom, you actually do less damage to the tang than when you're cutting from side to side. When I'm cutting from side to side, I noticed it had a tendency to slightly bend that tang a little bit. And that could be a real problem when you're installing your frets. If that tang is a little bit bent, it could damage the wood or make it difficult to get it pressed down into the slot. Now, when I build guitars, my slots stop short of the edge of the fretboard. It's called a blind slot, so you don't see slots on the edges of the fretboard. The slot stops short. So what I have to do to install the frets is, after I've cut them to length, is I have to snip off just the very end portion of the tang. It's about 1/8 of an inch, or 3 millimeters. And I'll clip that off using a fret tang nipper. And then I can install it, but I don't have to worry about whether or not the tang is slightly bent from having cut it with my cutters. Now, the reason why I like to cut from side to side is because I can get right up against the sides of the fretboard and clip it off. And I can get the fret length to be pretty close to what the width of the fretboard is. Now, if I cut from top to bottom, I run the risk of, if the cutter is at too much of an angle, I could actually snip off a portion of my fretboard. And I don't want to do that. So I prefer cutting from side to side. Now the fret tang nippers I use are these Hosco fret tang nippers, and I'll put a link in the description below. But they really do the best job of cutting fret wire. You can try using like wire cutters or a pair of cheap, Harbor Freight, big box store cutters, but they really aren't meant for that. And they tend to do even more pinching on the ends of the fret wire. So it's not something I would recommend that you use when cutting your fret wire. So in conclusion, and I also wanted to mention, I went to the Hosco website and I was looking to see if they had any recommendations on how to use the tool. As it turns out, they had a photo of somebody using the tool, cutting from side to side. And that's why I do it that way. It seems like everybody does it that way. And since the results aren't any different than when you're cutting from top to bottom, I don't see any reason to modify my technique. And I won't recommend cutting from top to bottom for the reason of the possibility that you could damage the fretboard if you have the tool at the wrong angle. At any rate, I hope you found this video to be useful. If so, give it a thumbs up. As always, visit the eGuitar Plans web store or my Highline Guitars merch store, and you can make purchases there that will help support this channel so that I keep making these videos and sharing that knowledge and information with you. And as I said before, you can also join and become a member of the channel where you'll get to see videos just like this, but with a little bit more detail. At any rate, I hope you've enjoyed the video. And as always, take care, stay safe, and I hope you'll be back for future guitar building videos.